Rocking his
I love it.
professional fishing gear. EFG. Oh yeah.
Let's get rolling. Well, let's go to our first spot, and I've got to retie a bunch of stuff, so we'll kind of show you what I'm going to tie on and see if maybe we can catch something. So let's do it.
Do it.
I'm a gladiator driven, I'm a force you can't stop. This is how I'm living as I'm rising to the top. I'm a gladiator driven, I'm a force you can't stop.
So what are we looking for as far as like where at to fish?
Okay, so depending on your time of the year, so like we're in like early spring, early spring in March. Beginning of March, it's really cold. Water is 48, 49, which isn't bad. But what I'm really going to look for is places where fish are going to want to stay warm. They're going to want to start warming up, getting ready for their eggs and spawning season. So a spot that you're going to want to look for is like you got some rock structure. So like down this bank, everybody fishes this bank. Nothing secret about it. But there's a lot of rock. And wherever there's a lot of rock and the sun, actually, what really matters this time of the year is where the sun hits. Because as you have more daylight and the sun's starting to hit in a spot more, it's going to be warmer, right? So this bank here, the sun's right now is facing that direction, but where it comes up, it's going to be hitting this whole bank. And so therefore the fish are going to be warming up more, and you've got all these different docks. So you've got wood, you've got rock, you've got all these different things to warm up. Whereas if I'm going to go fish down a bank where it's grass and lily pads, and sometimes that stuff doesn't warm up near as fast as rock or hardwood or something like that. And so these fish are going to be probably more along a bank like this. So that's where I would start. Like, even if you're going to fish, if you don't have a boat and you want to fish from the bank, just go fish down a riprap bank. Never fails in Washington, especially during the spring. So yeah, we're going to get after it.
Yeah. And so how can you tell if the fish are going to be active? Do you determine that by weather usually?
Yeah, and water temp, for
Okay.
sure. Like right now with the water being colder, their metabolism slows down, and it's kind of like they're just like people or anything. If it's colder outside, you maybe you don't see people doing as much outside. More people are inside trying to stay warm. And you don't want to go as far to get food. And that's the same thing with these bass, is they don't want to move a lot. They want to consume their energy. So depending on, as spring starts to warm up, they'll start getting really active. They'll start feeding a lot before they spawn. Really determines
simple biology.
Yeah.
That's what you would say.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I think a lot of fishermen know more than seems like biologists about fish, because we're just out here all the time and catching fish and learning their behavior, and it's just stuff you have to know if you want to catch fish and what to throw.
So another question is, does it matter where you cast in like areas of like rocks? Like, do you want to be close to the rocks? Do you want to just be in the area? Or do you want to be on top of the fish? Do you want to be like in front of the fish?
A good little distance. Like, and depending on the fish too, like sometimes you have to stay a long ways away from a fish. Like if I know for sure that there's a little rock pile, and I know there's for sure like fish on it because I've caught them there, sometimes I'll like stay a long ways away and cast to it, just because fish can hear your trolling motor. They can hear that fish finder, and a really old wise fish will know that, and they just won't eat, or they'll actually just swim off. But if I'm just going to fish down a bank, I'll just make sure to stay like a casting length away from the bank or the rock, and just kind of parallel it. Actually, some guys will always say to they're going down a bank like this and there's rock up there, they won't do like what I'm doing and cast like this. You'll actually get up there close and parallel so that you cover more water. Because if there's like a row of rocks, if you're casting like this, you're only hitting every like 20 yards, but if you go parallel, you're hitting the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so but like this, I'm just going, there's rocks that come way out here, I'm just gonna kind of go down this bank and cast. So I'm always gonna look at my fish finder too, and I can tell the bottom. Like we have a lot of sand and mud right in here,
Mm-hmm.
and then you might have a little rock out here or some stumps. And so if I see some different structure, I'll definitely take a cast at it.
Just try it out.
Yep. See fish down there, but pretty big. But we are shallow, so a bass will look pretty good size on my graph.
This is how I'm living as I'm rising to the top. I'm a gladiator driven, I'm a force you can't stop. This is how I'm living as I'm rising to the top. I'm a gladiator driven, I'm a force you can't stop.